Hey, welcome to Japanese Business and Economy. I'm your host and navigator for this introductory blog. I am Manish Sharma, that's my name. I'm a PhD in financial economics. I've worked as a consultant, investment banker, business school professor, as a newscaster on news on radio. So I've done a lot of things, and from this month, from this April, I've joined your school, your university, and what a perfect time to join to start a new job. You can imagine it's been an interesting uh, ride. So we were supposed to have this interaction face to face, but it seems for the next couple of weeks at least, we'll be interacting through this screen, and which as a blog, in the form of blog, not a lecture. But we are hoping that we'll be able to run some kind of an online lecture format, which I'll explain you in a bit. So let me introduce you to the website for this course. It's not the website that you have on the university's portal, but this is something that I've created that will be the dedicated repository for all information. All the resources would be uploaded to this website, all the assignments and all the polls and reading list and everything else, the online tools, they'll be on this website. Now, some of the pages of this website are restricted and you will need a password. So the password would be uploaded on the university portal of the course, just to keep it safe, right? And so once you have that, that password, you can actually log into the website, the restricted pages, and you can get all the, you can download all the resources that are important. So that's about the website. I hope uh, you've noted it down. It's jecon.school.blog. So talking about the course, let me give you a brief, quick explanation of what we'll be covering, an overview of the course. So this is the official syllabus that you might have seen. So there are two strands, two elements that are on which this whole course is built up on. One is we will be spending a lot of class time, lecture time, talking and understanding theoretical and empirical background of Japanese economy. And at the same time, in parallel, we'll be running an assignment, a weekly assignment, in which we'll test those ideas and some of different ideas, the corporate ideas, while focusing on Japanese companies. So we'll have these two things happening at the same time in this course, lecture and the weekly assignments. And just to give you a rough schedule, and believe me, this schedule is up for a lot of change because it was created, this syllabus was created before before this crisis or the shock. I would call the word shock is more appropriate. So the elements like crisis management, for instance, the fourth theme, the fourth week theme, it definitely would have to include the current ongoing response of Japanese government, and also the response of Japanese corporations. So we'll include all that. We'll update a lot of these elements. When we talk about labor market, we'll have to talk about what shock is doing to the labor market in Japan, while probably having some kind of reference to the global debate about this particular thing. So that's going to be roughly what we are covering. We are covering the historical aspect of Japanese economy. Then we are talking about Japanese companies, how the specific qualities or virtues or lack of them is creating Japanese companies important, or they are losing their importance. All that without any bias or without any favor to any system. So that's going to be roughly the overview of what we'll be covering in this course. Now, I understand this format of blog is probably not the best way to impart something important as the subject. So my suggestion for this is we'll be running, as I told you, a weekly assignment, and I'll explain to you about it in a bit. But in the medium term, there are already attempts to secure a platform which we can use to have a real-time interaction, a real-time lecture. And hopefully by third week or fourth week, I'm not really sure, but I've been told by the office that by third week we should have access to a corporate account of Zoom and WebEx. And I, having used Zoom for a couple of years, I would certainly like to use it to have a real-time class lecture. So it won't be a one-sided video, but you can actually interact, you can participate in it. It's a very simple application. What will happen is I'll send you a link, you'll click on it, you'll enter the password that I'll give you for those meetings, Zoom meetings, and then you'll select a login name for yourself. So in there, my suggestion would be you select a login name. My strong recommendation would be you select your first name as login name, not your family name, first name. What that will do is it will allow me to have a better understanding of who's joining the class, number one. Number two, it would also save us from the Kojin Joho related matters, right? The quandary of managing the personal private information. So just your first name as a login would allow us all to, would basically save us all a lot of hassle. So that should be the way we'll proceed. Hopefully, if it all goes well, then the JCon website, let me just give you a little bit of the JCon website. So this is how it looks like, Japanese business and economy. This is the welcome page. And the thing that I want you to, at the moment, focus on, so there is a self-introduction, there is a list of online tools, there are some videos that are related, then there is peer review mechanism. And since we are doing it online, we would not be using the peer review, and I'll disable this icon later on. Suggested reading has a reading list for various interesting, but this would be updated as well. And I'll give you on a weekly basis, I'll give you a reading list of some ongoing, some recent op-ed pieces. So the thing that we want to focus is this tab called the project. That would be the basis by which we will be able to have a constant connection about this course. Now, please remember, this is a protected page, so you would need a password, and I'm going to send you that. You'll get that password from the university portal for the course. Now, the project is named Understanding Japan Incorporated. So basically, we will be looking at Japanese companies, their performance, we'll be analyzing them, and we'll sort of try to develop an understanding of how Japanese companies work. And understand the economic basis of these companies' operability. So there are two steps that I want you to take within the next 1 week. By next week, Wednesday, which will be our next video upload time, when I'll also put some more assignments and some more rating list on the JCon, this website. You will have to do two things, and you can see that on your screen. So you'll have to take these two steps, and based on that, we will move forward on this project. So the first step is to form a group, a group of 4 to 6 students. Minimum membership of a group is going to be 4 students, and maximum is 6, right? That's what I'm hoping. Now, each group would be focusing on one particular industry or sector, right? You have to have this focus. These are focus groups. And I've given a suggestion of certain sectors, but they are not compulsory. You can select any sector apart from financial sector. I would recommend you not to select a financial sector company. And the reason for that is those sectors, the information is much more technical, and they are highly regulated industry. So unless you have a background in understanding that information, it'll be hard. So financial sector companies are completely different from all the other sectors, and that's the reason. So it could be FMCG like Cow, Unilever, but electronics, Sony, electric could be Toshiba, tech could be Never, or any of the gaming companies, media, TMT is again telecom, SoftBank, energy could be Eon, or what's the oil in the apparel could be Uniqlo, retail Eon, travel and tourism JTB, hospitality, some hotel chains, food and beverages. So you've got all these different sectors. You can choose one sector for your it could be cosmetics, it could be so many other things, right? Focus on one sector. And so once you've done that with those 4 to 6 students, then the second step is going to be selection of a company individually. Let's say, for example, in your group, you've got 6 students and you've selected, let's say, electronics company, electronics industry, then all 6 students would have to pick one company each for their analysis throughout this course, throughout these 13 weeks that will follow. So from electronics group, 6 students, participants in that group would have to select electronics company. It could be, for example, they can choose Panasonic, Sony, Sharp, you name it, and things, and so on. So each one has to pick one individually, right? Now, there are some characteristics that I think this company has to meet. It has to be a publicly listed company. Now, which means the stock is sold at the moment. Why do we insist on that? It's not a privately held company, which means you can't buy a stock of that company. You can't buy Kabu, the share of that company. So it has to be something that is listed in Japanese stock market. It could be a foreign company, but if it is listed in Nikkei or in topics, then that's a company you can select. Or in Osaka Exchange or Mothers or anything. That's number one characteristics. Number two characteristics is going to be this company should not be losing money indefinitely for a long period of time. And the reason for that is if a company is losing money for many, many years, we're talking about years, right? So if the company loses money for 1 year, 2 years, that's fine. But if it's indefinitely, which means it's losing money year after year, then analyzing that company becomes very, very uninteresting, to say the least. Third characteristics of that company is it shouldn't be, as I told you already, it shouldn't be a financial company. Once you have done these, you've taken these 2 steps, then you have to go and click on this green project worksheet. If you click here, let's see where it'll take us. It'll take us to another page, which has, so it's a Google Doc website where you can input. It's an editable worksheet, excuse me, where you can actually input your name, group, and company. So group is going to be numbered: group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, 7, 8, whatever, right? And you will give, so here you will give their name and the group name and the sector name. And over here you'll input your names, your group's number, and the company that you've selected for yourself. So example, I've given an example. There's a worksheet that has examples. So there are 4 students and they have selected a company. So the first one, The group 1 is about tech or electronics tech. The second one is travel and tourism, right? JBT um, um, and Travel Chan. So that's how it's going to look like. You'll have to do this by end of Tuesday next week, right? By Tuesday, I should have all these information so that when I make my video, the next video, I can see everybody has joined in, and if there are some people who are yet to join, we can talk about it. If you have any issue in inputting, in editing this worksheet file, then please let me know. Please write to me on the university email. Now, once you've done that, then you are from the third week onwards. So the next week, which is going to be the week 1, you will select a company. From second week onward, you would start to send me these progress reports. Now, each group will send 1 report. So if there are 6 groups, and so every week you can assign one of the group member to compile that report and send it to me. Now, I have my email address here that's given here, and you can send it to me. The guidelines for writing and sending these weekly report include these 4 important points. One is, when you send me an email, I have a fixed format for what you should write as the subject for that email and what should be the name of that file. So the subject of the email and the name of that file that you'll be sending me should be the same. And there is a format. So the format goes from group to the sector to report number. And I've given you an example. For instance, if the group 1 is covering auto sector and it's the third week, so it'll look like this: G1 auto, and the report number 3. So this is how this should be the subject line. Please make sure you follow this format, because I have set up my mailbox that once this subject line appears in one of the incoming mails, it automatically sends those mails to a particular folder where I would be keeping an eye on your weekly reports. So please make sure you follow this format for the subject line as well as the file name. Second point is, please make sure there are no cover page. It's going to be typically 1 to 2 page reports for all those 4 to 6 students. Please don't add additional pages, because that cover page is not needed. Instead, what I want you to do is, on the first page, the top of the first page, I want the group number, group member's name, and their companies all listed at the top of the first page. Make sure you do that. Third thing is important is, these reports should be brief and concise and to the point, not too much information which is irrelevant. And how you would write, I'll give you very detailed information how you're going to write. And you will send it to me by Monday noon. I should receive it, which is 2 days before the class, right? Now we are hoping, as I told you in the beginning of this blog, we are hoping that we will have an online class in real time. So it'll work if all goes well. So the week 2, which is going to be the third week, the assignment, I'll just show you how these questions look like. And you have to answer not anything. You have to answer each one of these questions for each one of your companies, right? So you've got 6 companies in your group. You will write me 1 to 2 page long report about these 2 questions, for instance. I'll explain these questions, their meaning, in the next video, because we are still not there. We will only have to do, first we have to take the first 2 steps. So if you have any questions or anything that you don't understand in my explanation, please feel free to send me an email, or you can probably drop it on the blog as well. You can send me a message on the blog as well. So this would be our weekly assignment, so that we remain we keep on working. We start working on this project, and we start getting to know the subject matter of this course. Hopefully, it would not uh, drive down your motivation. So please stay motivated. Please stay happy with the nice weather, and most importantly, please stay safe. I look forward to meeting you in person sometime really soon. Take care then, and we'll meet online next week. Till then, bye-bye.